Hong Kong has released a murder suspect whose case led to plans to change extradition rules, which then triggered the city's month-long protest when America's Caitlin Sinclair sat down with Gordon Chang to discuss the situation in Hong Kong.
So first I wanted to get into the news that came out of Hong Kong. They're scraping this extradition bill. What are your thoughts about this?
Well, I think it will have very little effect, zero effect on the enthusiasm of the protesters. If they had done this in April, when they had the first big protest, then yeah, there would have been no more demonstrations. But right now, it's not just the formal withdrawal of the extradition bill. It's also now the 4 other demands. They call it the 5 demands. And other protesters are talking about demands in addition to the 5. So right now, the protests have a life of their own.
So this comes on the heels of a man who was just released from prison. He's suspected of murdering his pregnant girlfriend. How does that weigh into this?
Well, yeah, this is the crime that originally started this because Carrie Lam said, look, if we don't have an extradition bill, we can't formally send this fugitive back.
Right.
But, you know, this was really just an excuse because what Beijing really wanted was the ability to get fugitives out of Hong Kong, put them into the mainland justice system, where, of course, there is no justice, there's no rule of law. And this is really what sparked really the demands that we started to see in the beginning of this year. So it's great that, you know, this guy eventually will face justice in Taiwan, but he was really just an excuse, and Beijing completely mishandled the situation.
And so there also have been talks about Carrie Lam. The voters are going to the polls in November. What do you think? What's going to happen?
Well, with Carrie Lam, it's pretty much what Beijing wants. And there is reporting that she's going to be replaced. But what are they going to do? They're going to put in one stooge for another stooge? Is this going to really make much of a difference? It might buy Beijing some time, but it might not. But in any event, people aren't going to be happy. Remember, one of the other demands is universal suffrage. So if you're going to get rid of Carrie Lam, people are going to start talking about, instead of Beijing appointing the next chief executive, people are going to say, well, why can't I vote for my next chief executive?
I think they're already saying stuff like that, no?
They're already saying that, but her replacement is actually going to, I think, sort of create this lightning rod where people will actually, it will start to resonate. You know, now people say it, but then they're going to have a real live situation where they're going to say, I want to vote for the next chief executive.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.